The Center for Interfaith Relations is a wonderful resource in this town. It's really sustained dialogue where the commonalities, the connectedness is really starting to come together and show through rather than the differences. It's the connections.
What I love about the organization is their interest in interfaith, and kind of helped me to stretch, because all of my life I've been in the African American church that has different nuances and different about any other faith. So it has helped me to look beyond that and to see that there are people who believe differently than I. However, they have the same needs and desires as I as a human being.
How do we as interfaith leaders find the threads within our own traditions that by claiming our tradition, it draws us to the table? A table by which is becoming increasingly urgent. If we don't do this, we're not going to have a community to survive long enough to worry about.
One of the reasons this group was convened today to see what kind of catalyst we can be for you. And if it's to bring people together on a regular basis, to be that umbrella, to be that center, that is why they changed the name from Cathedral Heritage Foundation to the Center for Interfaith Relations. Because we are looking to be the center for what you need us to be.
It's affirming to that basic, humanity that I think is the core of all our religious traditions. That reminds us that, we're part of a common bond, and it really connects you to the really deeply significant religious aspects of your own faith.
One of the planks on our strategic plan was to somehow get faith leaders together to work across faith traditions, to help identify issues and problems, social issues and events and those kinds of things that they would like to work on together. We could really determine what it was that faith leaders needed and also what CIR needed and the community needed. Today is a result of the year's planning for this. It's our first Faith Leaders Forum.
The Faith Leaders Forum will be a catalyst for cooperation between people of very different faith traditions who see what they have in common, and then what they have in common is the human problems that religion should be able to address, religions address together instead of addressed separately and instead of combat with each other over.
It's really, kind of an exciting opportunity to sort of build something anew. It's a fascinating reality of walking into a room knowing that the one thing we all have in common is that we all have something in common. That was actually kind of amazing. Seeing a lot of young ministers and clergy people who were just sort of stepping into this for the first time, because this is the first real great gathering we've had in years on that subject, was really exciting.
I love that everyone in this room is deeply committed to greater peace in the world, to greater harmony, to understanding through dialogue. And it is advancing it, it is action.
The very bottom line, the common denominator is love. And when you love, respect, and appreciate people, that you can very much have a sincere, positive, interfaith relation, because you're not asking me to give up, because we still have those common ground.
When that common kind of nature, of human nature we say, that blending is there, that brings into more, easiness, that more interaction, which really helps. And these kind of programs that we had today is a very important foundation.
I guess I see it as more of an expanding of my understanding of how we work together. And just being in the room with these people, all of whom are willing to talk with one another, expands my vision of what's possible. Yeah.
As people certainly grow older, and as I've grown older, I think you become more and more interested in perhaps what your legacy is, perhaps what you leave your children, and I'm not talking about monetary, but the world. There is a movement that people are, not just in this country, but a worldwide movement towards more spiritual.
It makes me even more want to value the gift that Presbyterians bring to the table. At the same time as valuing a Baha'i, Jewish, Muslim, because all of it honors God and God's creation, and it's all about love, an empowerment of love.
We're all one, members of one human family. If we feel that, and we believe that, and if we embrace that, we will not allow any injustice to be committed against any of other members of our family.
Well, I think you begin to sort of analyze yourself. You listen to other people. You see the commonality of concerns about the earth, or concerns about peace, or genocide in Darfur, or things like that. And you begin to recognize that you don't live in a tiny little box.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it is about our ignorance, and once we become knowledgeable of people and their faith and what they believe and how they feel about that, we can really be more embracing to people. So we're not going to limit or demean anybody because of the way they act out or walk out their faith, but we're going to embrace them and look at them as human beings who are on a common journey trying to reach the great Creator.
Obviously, the more we know about each other, the more comfortable we are with each other, and the more that we can work together to achieve common goals. We do have so much in common that it seems that there's endless possibilities of what we can achieve.
We can bring more churches and more faith leaders together at our future conferences, and this could be something that spreads throughout the community and be a very positive force. Geographically, these churches and faith leaders are ideally suited to help communication between neighborhoods, and it really does have the effect of bringing our community together.
It's very essential and very inspiring for me as a Buddhist, because we talk about compassion, we talk about kindness, love, but walking the talk, how do we do that? So these kind of meetings and gathering and meeting people, talking with them, I have gained lots of ideas, lots of advices, instructions, the way to do it, how to approach people, how to help.
I think that the Center for Interfaith Relations is just the most logical, perfect, and beautiful opportunity for that, to have a clergy council and of interfaith leaders in this community.
I think as our culture changes, as our county changes, as the region changes, as more and more cultures come, more and more faith traditions come, I look for a healthier way to live together, opening up heart and soul and mind to embrace the community and its differences and how we do it together.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama says that world peace is possible, and we should always hope for that. And we as human beings, are going to make it possible.
It's been said that there can't be any world peace without peace between the religions. And no peace between the religions without dialogue between the believers of different religious traditions.